Hello everyone, my name is Hannah. Welcome to a new video and happy Bookmas Day 5. Today's video is going to be a bunch of book recommendations for cozy, wintry, atmospheric books. So books that you can just cuddle up with and they give you that winter vibe, that winter atmosphere that is perfect for this time of year in the Northern Hemisphere. I'm going to be starting recommending the book that sparked the idea for this video, and that is The Bear and the Nightingale by Katherine Arden. I just recently read this one, and it is incredibly atmospheric. It is set in Russia during winter, and it follows Vasilisa, who lives in this small village, and they perform these kind of rituals or offerings that they give to these household spirits, and nobody else can see these spirits but Vasilisa. And then her father ends up getting remarried, and her new stepmother forces their house to stop doing these things because she thinks it's demonic, and she's super devout. And then she kind of gets the whole town to stop doing these things, but Vasia, she knows that these household creatures are real and that they protect them, and that bad stuff is going to start happening if they don't continue to do these offerings and rituals and stuff. But the setting of this is just such a vibe. Sorry if my voice is cracking a lot. I lost my voice on Friday. It is now Sunday and I'm still recovering, so I've got my tea here and it helps a little bit, but yeah, my voice sounds like crap right now, but I gotta deal with it because it's Bookmas and I gotta get these videos filmed. The setting of this book is just incredible and it just made me feel so cozy. I was sitting with my Christmas tree lit and I had a fireplace up on my TV because I don't have a real fireplace, and I was cuddled up on the couch with a blanket and this book, and it was so nice. It was so nice. And then I got the idea to recommend books set in winter or with that winter cozy atmospheric vibe. And yeah, this one's just the top of the list. I'm also going to be recommending Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. Now, I didn't particularly enjoy this one as much. I think that it was trying to do what The Bear and the Nightingale did, but just not as good. But it is definitely very wintry and atmospheric. The setting was my favorite thing about that book. I don't even remember the main character's name, to be honest, but I just remember that her father was a moneylender and he was really bad at it. And so she kind of took over and she got this reputation as somebody who can turn silver into gold because she's just really good with money. This winter demon or, winter king comes and gives her a bag of silver and is you need to turn this into gold or I'll come back for you. And she's like, oh my god, okay. And so she does it, and then he thinks that she has magic, so he tries to take her to his winter kingdom. And yeah, the setting itself is very good. I didn't mind the story thinking back on it. It was a little too slow for me. It's a 500-page book. But like I said, the setting is great, and I know that there's so many people out there that loved it, so I did want to include it on this list, especially because I enjoyed the setting. That was my favorite thing about the book, and it fits the wintry, cozy vibe that we're going for. So if you liked The Bear and the Nightingale, maybe check out Spinning Silver because it does have those similar Russian folklore kind of wintry vibes. I just ended up liking The Bear and the Nightingale more. So if you've read Spinning Silver and you liked that one, definitely check out Bear and the Nightingale. Now, I'm also going to be recommending two of Erin Morgenstern's books, her only two books, The Starless Sea and The Night Circus. My bookmark is in here because I'm going to be starting my reread for this soon. This one is set in December in winter, so it has those very wintry atmospheric setting that I'm looking for in these recommendations. But also just the writing is so, it's like honey, it's so good. It's very whimsical, lyrical, magical writing, and the story is kind of all over the place, to be honest. But if you're there for it, it makes sense in the end. You just have to go into it knowing that things aren't going to make sense right away and that that's okay. But the writing especially is just I think it's perfect for wintertime. I've been looking forward to the reread of The Starless Sea, my reread of The Starless Sea, because I just think this is the perfect time of year to read it. And then same with The Night Circus. It's more of a fall to winter kind of thing. So it follows this circus that only appears at night, and it arrives wherever it wants to without warning. It just pops up one day and it's there, and you can only go in from dusk until dawn. And then it closes, so it's closed during the day. And it's got this magical competition kind of going on in it. It's very mysterious, and it's got that whimsical, beautiful writing that just like melts in your mouth, if you know what I'm saying. That's a good way to describe it. But I think this is another one that's perfect for this time of year because it's just so rich, and it's just like the perfect story to curl up on the couch at night with a fireplace, on your TV or otherwise, and oh, it's just so good. So I had to recommend those. Next up, I have some Frederick Bachman to recommend. So the first one is a novella. It's The Deal of a Lifetime. This you could easily read in one sitting. I think it's like 60 pages, but there's like not a ton of writing on each page, and there's illustrations throughout it. And yeah, this is set right around the Christmas holiday, and it's kind of a more magical realism story. It's kind of like a Christmas Carol where this guy gets to see things that he wouldn't in normal circumstances, like death comes for him, and so he meets death and kind of gets to like walk around before he like leaves in the afterlife, I guess. It's hard to explain it because it's so short, so I don't want to give too much away, but the back says, everyone is always negotiating all of the time. You're doing the deal of your life every day. This was mine. And it's just like, I don't know, it's like sad and deep and emotional all packaged up into this teeny tiny little book, and it's just perfect to read around the holidays. I think it's set on Christmas Eve, so it's one that you can just sit down on your couch and read in a single sitting and just kind of make you think about life a little bit. The next Frederick Bachman that I'm going to recommend is Beartown. This copy is not in the best shape, but it is my copy, okay? It is set in this tiny little community deep in the forests of Sweden at winter, where it's like a brutal, brutal winter, and this town is all about ice hockey. They care so much about ice hockey, and I love books with hockey in them. This isn't like straight up just about hockey. It's about the town and like the people and the problems that are with the people in this small community. But I gave this 5 stars, and it's a really beautiful story. I have tabs up at the top for like beautiful quotes and stuff because Frederick Bachman's writing is just so good, and it's a really feminist story. It follows this like junior hockey team, and one of their star players is accused of rape, and the girl that he raped is the coach's daughter. And so the town gets like very divided on like, okay, he raped a girl, that's horrible, like he should be punished. And then half the town is like, but we need him for this like hockey championship game or whatever, like we still need to play him. So it kind of takes that like two sides kind of thing, and people like fighting in this small town because they care so much about hockey. And it's so good, and it has so many good quotes and good moments, and it is a very, very wintry book. Like, it is set in the dead of winter. It is snowy. The setting of this and the way that the winter is described is so good for this time of year. And there's actually a second book called Us Against You, and then there's supposed to be a third one that's coming out. I'm not sure if it comes out next year. I think it's come out in Sweden already, but I think it hasn't been translated to English yet, but I'm highly anticipating that one. But yeah, it has a sequel, but you could read Beartown as a standalone if you wanted to. But I would recommend the sequel as well because I also gave this one 5 stars. And they are very, very wintry. The next book that I have here to recommend is From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. This is a slow burn romance story, and it is set in figure skating. So like Beartown is all about ice hockey. This one is all about figure skating. It follows Jasmine, who hasn't had the best solo career in ice skating. She used to have a partner, and they do like, partner ice skating, figure skating, and he left her, and so she hasn't had like the best career. And then her best friend's older brother, Ivan Lukov, who's like a big deal in the ice skating world, approaches her and asks if she'll be his partner. And she's like, I literally hate you. Like, they never got along. They always tease each other, and they're always at each other's throats. But she really needs this for her career, and he really wants her to be his partner. And so they have this like really good slow burn hate to love romance. So if you're looking for an ice skating romance, which I think is perfect for this time of year because, ice, winter, it's perfect. This one is so good. It's one of my favorite Mariana Zapata books. The next book I'm going to recommend, I no longer have my physical copy of because I don't plan to reread it, but it is very, very atmospheric and has that winter setting locked down. And that is Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfield. I read this a couple years ago in winter, and I just remember really, really liking the descriptions of this river, and this icy river, this wintry river, and how cold everything is and how people are curled up by the fire. It's got this like bit of a murder mystery with a bit of magical realism, and the more I think about it and the more I talk about it, I kind of want to get a copy of it again and reread it, because I think I remember liking it but not like absolutely loving it, but I think it's because I wasn't invested in like the mystery part of it, and now I kind of want to reread it. But I'm like, this would be the perfect time because it is so atmospheric and it's exactly the kind of book that I'm in the mood for right now. Like, I just want those wintry magical vibes right now, and that I think this book has it. The next book I'm going to recommend is Winterwood by Shea Ernshaw. I also no longer have my physical copy of this one, but this one is set in the dead of winter, and this girl, can't remember her name, her family is like accused of being witches, and so she kind of keeps to herself, and they have this like magical forest that things that get lost get found in this forest, but the trees are kind of alive in this forest, and so it's like not good to go in there by yourself. And one time this girl is like walking through this forest in the dead of winter when she's not supposed to, and she finds this like half naked boy that is there, and she's like, what the heck, he's gonna freeze to death. So she gets him back to her cottage, and there's like a little bit of a mystery because he went missing 5 days ago, and there's like no way that he would have survived out there in the little clothing that he had with how cold the conditions were. And so she's trying to like solve this mystery of how he ended up there in the first place, and it's really good. I really like Shea Ernshaw's like witchy writing, and I love how she wrote the forest and how the forest is kind of like its own character because it has like, I don't know, it's eerie. And like I said, it's set in the dead of winter, so it is perfect for this time of year if you're looking for a wintry atmospheric read. I feel like I'm using the same words over and over again, like wintry vibes, atmospheric, but you know, that's the theme of this video, I guess. The next book I'm going to recommend here is Migrations by Charlotte McConaghy. This book, listen, okay, first of all, look at the cover. Like, icebergs, winter, you get it. This book was recommended to me by Ashley from Ashley's Little Library, and I am so freaking grateful that she recommended this to me because I love this book, and I probably never would have picked it up on my own, which is sad to me because I really love it. It is following this woman, Franny, who is absolutely obsessed with an Arctic tern, the Arctic terns, okay? That is a type of bird. I'll pop up a picture of this bird. It's kind of cute. And in the world of migrations, it's our world, but like set in the future where most animal species are extinct. And so she's like an ornithologist who studies these Arctic birds, and they're going to migrate, and they migrate from the North Pole to the South Pole every year. And scientists are expecting this to be their last migration. And so she wants to follow them on their migration from the North Pole to the South Pole because it's the longest migration that any creature has ever done. And it's just like her journey following these birds, and like you get a little bit of backstory on her life and like what set her on this path, because Franny does have her own secrets, so you get a little bit of that as well as like her journey following these birds. And just the writing in here is just incredible. But yeah, I wanted to recommend this one because I think it's the perfect book to read in the winter time because of the themes in this book. And I think I'll be due for a reread of this very, very soon because I love this book so much. Now, I have 2 bonus books that I want to talk about because I haven't read them yet, and so they're on my list based on what I know of them, because I think that they would make this list if I had read them. But so these are bonus. Like, I haven't read them, so I can't fully recommend them to you, but from what I know of them, they sound very, very wintry and cozy and perfect for this video. The first one is a classic, and that is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. Yes, I have not read this. I have seen the movie, so that makes me a bad book person, I guess. But it's really short, and I think that I want to read this year. Like, I want to read this winter. I loved the idea of Narnia and like going through the wardrobe and finding this like snow-covered world. And I know that this is the setting of this because there's like the Ice Queen, the Snow Queen. I know that the setting of this is going to be atmospheric and wintry vibes. Those are some new adjectives for you. But I am sure everyone knows about the Chronicles of Narnia already, so I won't talk too much about this one. But yeah, I want to read this one because I feel like it's so short. It's less than 200 pages, and yeah, I just want to read this one. Does anybody remember the Lazy Sunday song from Lonely Island where they go, the chronic, what? Coals of Narnia. Does anybody remember that? No, just me? And then the last book that I have that is my bonus book is Midnight in Everwood by M.K. Kuzniar. I think this one has released, but it's also possible that it doesn't release until the end of January. But I think it was Kaylin from Kaylin Abridged to talk about this one. No, it was Jody. I think it was Jody who mentioned this one because she got it in like a bookish box, and it sounds like the perfect winter book. Like, it's a retelling of the Nutcracker, and it's got like these like this magical aspect to it. It's set in winter. Again, I don't know much about it because I haven't read it, so I don't want to say too much about it, but here it is, so you can go look up the actual description of it because it's far better than anything I could tell you. But I definitely want to read this one. If it's out now, I want to read it in December if I have the time to. Otherwise, I'm going to pick it up in January because it sounds amazing. Those are all of my wintry, atmospheric, cozy book recommendations. If you have any recommendations that I did not mention, please leave them in the comments below because that's what I'm in the mood for right now, and I would really, really love some recommendations. So if you have any, please leave them in the comments. Otherwise, you could leave like the snowflake emoji or something, you know, the snowman emoji, something wintry, because why not? But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!